Join us as we explore the Olympic National Park for 6 days.
We ran a full counterclockwise loop from Port Townsend ferry and back.
Our first mistake was not reserving ferry tickets from Coupeville to Port Townsend, and we had to wait an extra few hours.
Once we got to Port Townsend, we had a really good lunch at Silverwater Cafe. Then we walked around and did some shopping. This town is awesome, especially in the summer. Plenty of great coffee shops, ice cream, and beautiful views of the water. We also stumbled upon a town party with live music and a beer garden.
We then drove to Port Angeles, where we'd rented a tiny house as a single night stay.
It was truly a highlight of the trip for the kids. We then ran out to have our last really good meal for a few days at Kokopelli Grill. It was delicious and our server was great.
We went to Madison Falls trailhead and followed the Elwha River upstream. We were told getting to the old dam was gorgeous and worth the trip. Though we didn't make it, it was hot. We had the best hike.
We took some side trails down to the river, and one of them led to a rock beach with absolutely no one around. The river is just so picturesque. The glacial runoff is crystal clear with a bright blue tint.
Oh, yeah, Daddy.
We skipped rocks, and I decided to jump in. This water is colder than any cold plunge I've ever attempted.
We hiked and stopped wherever we wanted, making for a perfect experience.
We only saw a few other people. If you're willing to camp overnight, this hike runs all the way up to some pretty impressive natural hot springs. We'll have to do another trip with more preparation someday.
It's chilly, man. We finished the hike by heading back to our car, then taking the very short hike to Madison Falls. Wow, what a great way to finish the day. The falls are covered in moss and just idyllic. I think waiting till the end of the day was a good idea too, because very few people were there.
On the way to our VRBO in Forks, we stopped at Lake Crescent.
This lake is massive and beautiful. We wish we had time to spend a few days just enjoying the lake.
Once we got to Forks, we grabbed dinner at the Longhouse Cafe, which is a Salish Indian restaurant.
When booking our place in Forks, we went bigger than we wanted to. Every place we checked out looked pretty gross. So we booked a nice big house on a few acres just a few minutes from downtown. It was great. 4 bedrooms, a big kitchen, really nice living room, fire pit for s'mores, and the neighbors had cows and a bunch of elk.
The next morning we headed straight toward La Push Second Beach. We heard it was the best for a tide pool, so we made sure to go on low tide.
Not only was the beach beyond any expectation I could have had, but the trail to the beach was impressive. A lush, damp, mossy, fern-riddled forest straight from the Ewok village. It opens up to a massive beach with a few overnight campers and eroded islands dotting the horizon. As the marine layer burned off, we saw more and more islands. And the tide pools did not disappoint. It was a rainbow of starfish and anemones. The surf report said it was 4 to 5 feet. I didn't see this, but it was definitely longboardable at the first beach where we had lunch. We had lunch at the River's Edge restaurant where the first beach and the Quinault River meet. The Brussels sprouts were great, and so was the salmon. The smash burger was a burnt brick.
We then decided to check out a local hike that's a bit under the radar, Elk Creek Reservation Hike. It was an easy, beautiful forest hike. We stopped along Elk Creek and had a mini picnic. kind of everything we look for. We really soaked up the nature. That evening we made s'mores and enjoyed the chilly weather.
Heading out of Forks, we stumbled on the drag races and stopped to watch a few.
This is ran 4 times per year and shuts down the local airport. We met a seasoned racing resident and cheered as his brother and his grandnephew raced each other. It was great to learn about the area and racing history from him. Everyone has been really nice since we've been here.
Whidbey Beach had some unique rock formations and a ton of visitors.
We then went to Kalaloch Beach to check out the Tree of Life.
It's one of those impressive pieces of nature that finds a way to survive in a challenging environment. The walk around the beach was otherworldly, as the marine layer here is often straight out of a sci-fi film.
We went to a trail called the Queets River Trail. We were the only ones there. We began our hike and saw some really beautiful mossy rainforest. We made it probably a mile in and had to turn back due to prickly weed plants impeding our trail. The bugs are also pretty merciless.
They were vicious.
We then headed toward what was supposed to be our last stay, the Quinault Lodge.
After sorting out the mishap, we washed off our anxiety by jumping in. The water felt amazing, as it was a hot evening. We played on the floating swimming dock and really enjoyed the water. We then had a very good dinner, grateful for the good food again. We explored the lodge and its history.
Breakfast at the lodge was equally good.
We rented an overpriced canoe and made our way to some little beaches around us. The water was colder today, but crystal clear. After our canoe session, we spent more time relaxing at the lodge, playing lawn games, grabbing drinks and appetizers, and enjoying the dry sauna and taking more lake dips.
In order to extend our stay, we took a room at the Glen Air Resort, which is a canal-side RV park. The room was great, easy, and well-priced, though the area of Hoodsport isn't on the radar. We loved it. A tiny little town on the canal with great views and an epic restaurant called El Porto de Angeles.
The next day, we drove to the peak of Mount Walker to see the views. You can hike it, but it was really hot. We're glad we skipped this hike, though ordinarily it would have been great. The views were spectacular. We met some locals that do the hike once a week. They said they once came in winter and got to see the aurora borealis.
Once we made it back to Port Townsend, we found one of the best restaurants yet.
We checked out the Maritime Museum, more shopping, the old bell tower, and finished the day at Doc's Marina Grill. I think it'd be hard to find a spot in Port Townsend with bad food.
All in all, it was a highlight of our month in the Pacific Northwest. Grateful for this amazing protected park.